Well, as you can tell, the insulation material for our tiny shipping container house finally arrived.
So, I guess you already know what we are gonna talk about today.
Yep, so let's get started.
First time here, you might not know, but this episode is really important for us.
Yeah, it took us many weeks until we actually found a solution that we were actually satisfied with in order to solve any future problems with condensation. If you want to understand a little bit better how we got to this solution, we suggest you to check out this playlist.
Yeah, that's being said, I guess it's time to talk about the material and how it works.
Well, the material we're going to use for insulation is actually based on studs of astronaut suits from NASA. That's pretty cool. So, here's a sample of it. This product is called 3TC, that in Portuguese stands for 3 kinds of heat transfer.
That means conduction.
Conduction is when you transfer heat through the material itself.
Convection
is when you transfer heat through fluids. That means liquid, gases, all that.
And radiation.
Radiation is when you transfer heat through radiation.
Yeah. So basically the insulations that we are used to see on the market, they protect against just one kind of this heat transfer.
Yeah, for example, if you have like aluminum foil or any kind of reflective paint, they all protect against radiation.
And all other kinds of like pet walls and rock walls and fiberglass walls and
spray foam also.
Spray foam, they protect against conduction.
So that means that the biggest difference between this kind of insulation and the other insulations we just talked about is that this one actually works on all 3 kinds of heat transfer. So let's understand how. So basically 3TC is made out of an EPS core with 2 aluminum foils on the outside. That means the aluminum foil creates an impermeable barrier that will help with convection heat transfer. And also, as the aluminum is really reflective, the company, the factory says that this reflects 97% of the radiation heat. That's amazing. If actually it does, it's really good.
And the EPS protects against the heat conduction. Because it's a really bad conductor.
It's really bad conductor. So why do we need to avoid heat transfer in a tiny shipping container house?
We have many reasons for that.
Way too many reasons.
Yeah. The first one, I guess, it's because we want to avoid the heat on the summer. We don't want to live inside an oven.
Yeah, we also don't want to live inside of a freezer on the winter, right?
Yeah. But I think the main thing is the condensation.
Yeah. When you talk about a shipping container house, we believe the nightmare of a shipping container house is condensation. We don't want to go into condensation that much on this video because 2 weeks ago we did a video all about condensation. So if you want to understand a little bit better how it happens, why it happens, how to avoid it and all that, you can watch this video that we did. And this being said, this material, the reason why we really like it is because we believe this is going to avoid condensation on our shipping container house. Basically, the idea is to get this material, 3TC, and do a layer of this material all around the inside of the house, and to make sure we seal the connection between the sheet and the other sheet of this material, we're going to use aluminum tape. With these 2 products, 3TC plus aluminum tape, we believe that we can create a vapor barrier and a thermal barrier that won't let the cold outside and the cold plate of the shipping container to meet the inside warm, humid air of the house.
Avoiding condensation.
Yeah, basically, if you watch the video that we just talked about already, you're going to understand that if the inside won't have any contact with the outside and hot won't meet cold, there's no condensation. That's theory, of course. We know we are going to still have condensation on the windows, but this we can solve just by opening the windows because here is not that cold, so we can open windows, so it's fine. But we believe with these 2 things we can solve the condensation problems inside of the walls. Yeah. But I think we talk too much as usual. We can get our hands dirty.
Yeah.
So we're going to show you now how we apply this to the ceiling of our tiny shipping container house.
So, video clip now.
We have one long stripe. We need another half of this, and we have a ceiling. That's fury.
Yeah.
Remember that.
So we need to cut a little square for that part. The idea now is to put glue here and there, because if you put the glue all the way from the beginning to the end, it might dry just one part and the other not. Good.
I'm pretty sure that will be well actually.
Good.
Well, now that we install all the sheets of 3TC on the ceiling of our shipping container house, I guess it's about time to give you guys our feedback about the product.
The product is really good, it's really light, easy to handle.
Yeah, all we needed to use was a knife and a pair of scissors and contact glue, and in one afternoon, yeah, a little bit more in one afternoon, like one afternoon and one part of the night.
Because we are slow.
Yeah, we are always slow, but for us, a few hours is really quick, and we finished the whole ceiling in a few hours, so that's really good for our standards. So I mean, it's like so simple. It's just like to cut. It's really easy to cut, to glue. I mean, like we EPS when we did. I don't know if you remember, but when we did the roof of our shipping container house, there's a video right here, a playlist right here. We needed to use a special kind of glue made for EPS. And EPS glue is just a nightmare because it dries really quick. It gets really hot. And it's just a nightmare to use. And contact glue that the manufacturer said we can use on this material, that's pretty good. Yeah, basically contact glue, I don't know if you know, but you just apply in one side, in the other side, that means we apply on the ceiling and then we apply it on the insulation itself, wait for 15 minutes, touch them together, and it's glue really good. And I mean, it was really easy.
I'm just thinking about how our thoughts about one product can change, because in the beginning contact glue was really hard for us to use, and now it's like a dream.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. The thing is, we wanted to talk about efficiency itself of the product, how it how it works and how good it is in order to transfer heat, but we cannot talk about yet. What we mean by that is because in order to get the real efficiency of the product, we need to do the entire shipping container. We need to have the whole surface of the shipping container covered by the material and properly sealed. Otherwise, just don't make sense, because it's not working as it will work. It's not working properly, and that's the idea for next week.
Yeah, next week we are planning to do the walls of this side of the shipping container and seal with
this tape. Yeah. By the way, the manufacturer said that it's not mandatory to glue the insulation to the plate. At first, we thought we needed to glue, otherwise wouldn't work properly, and they say that's not true. The only thing you need to do to work properly is to have the entire surface covered with the material and all the joints glue with this metallic tape to make sure you have a sealed surface.
Yeah.
And if you do that properly, even though the material is not glued to the shipping container, it will work properly. So on the ceiling, we decided to glue because it was just easier. Yeah. Because like the sheet is really light and flies really easy. Like like any wind would take away out of place. Yeah, out of place. So we decided to glue because it was just easier, and the results when we glue, it's just amazing. I mean, like the ceiling seems like it's the ceiling of the shipping container. Seems like it was made like that, and that's pretty cool.
We also thought about living like that.
Yeah, actually looks so cool. I mean, like as reflects. Seems like it's bigger, the shipping container now.
And the acoustic is better, even though we did just the ceiling. And we have good news for this week.
What's the news?
We did some new benches.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but we're not using our old bench to sit on because it was getting dangerous. But we're not gonna show you yet how we built this. This is actually a workbench that it's divided in 3 pieces. That can be a bigger one, can be 3 smaller ones. Have a lot of functions, and that's what we use. You saw in the footage, that's what we use to work on the ceiling. And the reason why we built that right now is because we needed something to be high enough to work on the ceiling. But
we are gonna talk about that
in the future, because you know when you take something out from here, like a magician, yeah, when you take like something from here,
a card.
Yeah, a card, like these benches are the episode that we're gonna use when we don't have an episode in the future. So smart. Now is the first time in a long time that we have some material to use when we don't finish a task. That's pretty good. So wait until the future and you're gonna see a really cool working bench that we really like it. But for now, if you didn't subscribe to the channel yet and you wish to, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, to leave us a thumbs up, because if you are all the way to the end of the video, that means you like it. So if you subscribe to the channel, don't forget to click on the little bell to be notified when we have a new episode. That it's next Monday for sure.
It's always Monday.
Yeah. Now, of course, we're talking too much and it's time to go. So I guess we see you guys next week.